So to start off, we start with a 6mm ply base with 1-inch battening all the way around. We insert foam, just standard polystyrene, and cut it to size with a flexible blade. To glue that in place, we use polyurethane gator glue, which can be purchased from Geekgaming below. Apply some water to the other side and then press that down into the box, and that should give you your first layer of foam. To weigh that down, we use some weights and some wood just to go across the entire length of the board to spread the weight. And then we carry on cutting more foam and building up till we get the complete ground cover that we want. The best thing about the polyurethane glue is it's great for sticking multiple layers of foam together. One, because it dries quickly, it dries in 20 minutes, and two, it turns into foam, so when you do come to cutting your foam, it's very simple to cut with a knife or hot wire cutter, however you plan to cut the foam. Now, this table needed quite some planning because it's over 2 foot by 2 foot. So planning ground formations and things like that can be quite complicated, so it's always good to plan, draw it out first and then cut, and then repeat the gluing process over and over again so you get to the required height. We was making two 2x2 tiles that were supposed to be independent as well as could be used together. So how we cut this through is just with a knife, made sure it was straight by using a piece of wood as a straight edge, and then once we cut that, we just separate the boards so we can join them back together later. Now it's simple carving, just using a retractable knife, and just make a rough cut. Everything else we're going to fix later. You don't have to be particularly neat with this step. Just cut it till you get it to the sort of shape that you require. For marking out the stream, we draw it out first because we're doing it across 2 boards, but the way that we get a nice natural embankment is we use a creme brulee burner or a Bunsen burner, whatever you want to call it, and just do that across the whole board. Now onto the rock formations. We plan these first. We just get all those rock molds from Woodland Scenics, and we pour them in as casting plaster from my range, and then we stick them in place with the Luke's APS fast drying glue. It's a very tacky glue that grabs more or less instantly, so it's great for just holding them in place before we go to the next step. There was some quite complicated parts. We wanted to put some flatter rocks in under the stream, as if the stream had weathered away the rock. So we made a template with foam, and then we used the template to cut the rocks. Now the benefit of using freshly cast plaster, it's very easy to cut and trim. So as you can see, we're breaking off big parts of it very simply just by breaking it off. We score it to get the size shape that we wanted from the template, and then just break them off. And then it should just fit in quite easily. Trim and tidy as you need. Any big gaps that you need to fill, just use some offcuts of your rock molds and just put them in place. We'll blend them later. Now for blending them, I'm just using simple easy filler. This is like wall filler, spackle, whatever you need. I mix it up to a thick paste, and then what we do is we just pour it around the rocks. And this is to fill the gaps so you can't see. Now the one benefit to doing this is once you start brushing it around, it fills the gaps, but it also gives the rocks a nice soft finish, as if the water's weathered the rocks. So not only is it good for the finish, for filling the gaps, it's also good for the finish, giving it a nice weathered soft rock that's underwater. And as you can see, all the rock's nice and soft, and when we put some water and everything in that, it'll look nice and soft underneath the water. Now on to modelling compound. This is a product that can be purchased from my store. It's a paper and plaster mix that's ideal for making landforms, sticking your rock molds to the land formations, and just general ground formation. Mix it to a thick consistency and just apply it on in place, making up your landform. You can glue your rock molds in place with it, as you can see, and it's just as simple as rubbing it around and placing it where you need it, and building up that ground formation. It's very messy work, but it's very enjoyable. For blending it into your rocks, just use a bit of moisture on a brush, and you can blend it in with your rocks. You can smooth it out with your hand till you get a nice look and finish like that. Now for scribing the sides so it's all boxed in and well protected, we're just using some more ply. What we do is we draw the outside of the board, scribe it on, and then just cut it with a jigsaw, and then fit that back to the table. For the bits that are going to be drilled together near the foam, we add support by putting a little chock in, and then drill the two bits of wood together into that piece of chock. So on the bottom they're drilled into the corner of the wood on the border, and in the middle they've got a nice piece of wood that pulls both corners tight. We will countersink the screws later on. And all you've got to do is use the modelling compound again to fill in the gaps so it doesn't look like the board's got a border, so they can be used as modular tables as well. After about 15-20 minutes, the compound will be at a point where you can start sculpting it and shaping it. I just use a cocktail stick just to follow on the edges so the rock looks like it's carrying on even onto the wooden side. It's very simple, very easy, and it just helps blend in far easier. Then once that's dry, after about 45 minutes, just get your paintbrush and put on a base colour. It doesn't matter what colour this is, it's just a colour just to taint the bottom of the board for when we put as ground covers on. So don't worry about the colour that you choose. Now for painting the rocks, we use the traditional leopard spot technique. We're going on with an ochre and we cover about 1/3 of the rock. So the wash is 1 part paint to about 10-15 parts water. And then we go on with the same colour as the earth, so like a browny reddy colour. We glaze over the entire rock with a dark brown wash. At this point, this ties all the colours together, and what you want to do is leave this to completely dry and seal this in with a coat of varnish or PVA glue. Once that's all dry, we'll give it an overall wash of black. So as you can see, that's it, the step before the black wash. So once that's all dried and been sealed, we can come back in and give it an all over wash of black. And this adds all your shadows to the recesses, and also takes it down just a notch and gives it a very nice natural colour. Once that wash is dry, also seal with another coat of PVA or varnish. And when it's all dry, that's what it's going to look like. Right, the ground covers are soil mixed with tile grout and some pigment powders to give me the colour that I required. The client for this board wanted a nice tundra finish, so I went with quite an arid looking soil, a very sandy soil look. So it's got quite a ochre colour, which really does tie in with the rocks. Simply just put some PVA glue down and then sprinkle this all over your grounded areas. With it having grout in there as well, you don't need much glue because it's technically a cement, it just dries to the board and it's very hard and robust for wargaming. Seal all that in place afterwards with some watered down PVA glue and mixed in with some interior varnish. Then from my range, I use a range of flocks from mixes of sawdust and foam flocks just to get the required tundra finish. I also use some Woodland Scenics Earth Blend for the nice yellowy browns, and both companies' flocks do complement each other brilliantly. This is the coarse 2-in-1 foam flock that I'm throwing down to get the sort of weedy areas on top of the mid-green. Then I'm using the light green 2-in-1 just to accent some of the other coarser areas of the turf. Then add some arid earth from the Luke's APS range again. This is a base ready product, but it makes great for fallen rocks. For the riverbed rocks, we're using some nice smooth rounded stones, because obviously stones underwater are going to be a lot smoother than the stones on the ground. So we found some very nice soft stones that will fit very nicely under the riverbed. The colours match in with the rocks as well, so it all ties together. And once they're down, that's what they're going to look like. To lock all this in place, we just spray with watered down PVA glue mixed with varnish and water. And once that's all dry, it gives a very hard, solid finish. For blending things like trees and stuff in, we just use the ground cover again and just pile it up around the trees. If you want to see any videos on trees, do check out my older videos. These are just some tufts that we've custom made to make for the board. So some nice pale grassier tufts with some big patchier tufts of darker grass. And when we apply them, we do rough them up so to give a more natural finish. Just adding them quite sporadic around the board, and it just adds another element of realism. Now onto the water. Any long viewers of the channel will know that I use a lot of CFS claycast epoxy. Reason is it's solvent free, it's safe to use on foam, and it's very user friendly. Just mix 50-50 by weight, and then add a couple of drops of ink to part A, which is the part that it seems to mix the easiest into. Give them a good mix with the colour, and then add part B to part A or vice versa, and mix them well together for a good minute or two. They are rather thick, so make sure you give it a very good mix. Now a bit more of a complicated part is pouring the water effects. What you need to do is pour them and let the resin go its own natural way, because obviously with water you want it to look natural, so the resin will naturally flow like water would. It'll find its own way. So just pour little bits at a time, let that run, and once it stops running, add a little bit more till you get it filled up, because otherwise you'll end up putting too much resin in the bottom river. And just keep adding and just keep teasing it along until it just stops flowing. If you need to, you can remove some of the resin out of the end where it stops, just using a spoon, and just put it back in your cup. And when you're trying to keep it all the same sort of level, I was trying to keep it about 5mm thick across the whole board. You have got quite about 45 minutes working time, so don't panic too much while you're pouring. To get any air bubbles out, it's just a simple process of using the Bunsen burner again, and that'll pop the bubbles, plus it gives it a bit of a kickstart for drying. Once that's dry after about 12 to 24 hours, you can take off the bevel from the taped edge. And then we can go on to water effects. I like using Clayfix. This is a product that we sell in our store as well at geekgaming.co.uk. Just simply decant that into a glass, add some white spirits. You can use isopropanol as well, but white spirits do add a bit more working time, so you can get a good half hour's working time with this if need be. It does take some mixing, so bear with it. Spread it on the river. I'm doing this very thin because I want it a very sort of shallow, steady moving river, or shall we say stream. But if you wanted it to be more rapids-like or more rough, you could put this on rather thick and make some really big waves and white water. I'm just going for a steady flow. For adding the ripples of the moving water from where it flowed down the river, just simply tap it away from the direction that the river's flowing. And once you're done, it'll look like that. As you can see, guys, it's one of the most simplest and easiest ways to make water look great quickly. You can do it all in one day if you're pushed. I just love doing water this way because you can see where it's looking like as you're working with it. If you've not tried it yet, I would advise trying it. It's just so simple and very user friendly. If you have liked this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, guys. It really means a lot. And if you want to use any of the products used in this video, do check out my shop, as it supports me to do more videos like this. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll wrap this up at the end. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Just thanks for all the support and everything over the last 3 years. It's been mental. I've just hit 90,000 subscribers as well, so thank you very much for that. If you're interested in any of the products that I've used in this video, it is all my products that I've used, so check the links below. There'll be a description of everything that I've used and where you can buy that from my store. If you're in the US, if you're in Mexico, if you're even in Australia, we have resellers over there where you can buy the same products as well. So do check the links below. If you're not into that sort of thing, there's always Patreon. And for everything else, there's affiliates to gaming stores where I get a cut from when you buy things like your discounted Games Workshop models. So check them links as well. Well, thank you so much, guys. Thanks for everything. And I'll see you again for the next video next week. Love.